Hey guys, it's me, Gabriel, here for your morning boost about what's the point. Now, in our lives, you may very well have come across this thinking, this train of thought of wondering, in the course of what you're doing in your life, your job, relationships, what have you. You may have very well have asked yourself, what's the point? Like, what is the point of what I'm doing? You feel a lot of times we ask that because we're confused, frustrated, feel like we're getting nowhere. And I would say that is aligned with a misunderstanding of your purpose. You have a purpose that isn't fulfilling. You're doing it, as it were, for the wrong reasons. Now, with this all being said, at times, there's certain situations where you just need to just readjust your train of thought, and by doing so, you can still do the current course of action. For instance, like my job, you know, just because I correct my train of thought, it doesn't mean I automatically quit my job or what have you. And I would say the whole like quitting it to begin with, I'd say that is kind of more down the line of action, so to speak. Quitting your job, quitting a relationship, just giving up on something. Because a lot of times it's amazing how when we correct our thought, how the situation becomes more aligned accordingly. But there are times where you can see, okay, I've been going in forward in this relationship and it's not been conducive. Yeah, quitting it would actually be, the best, because we've been going at it in a way that is not conducive. So that would be the point. But there's also other times where that can be healed and you can have a wonderful relationship. Now, the determining factor, I think, with all of it is that if by what you're doing is leading you to use the body as a means of attack, in the sense, what I mean by that is, by what you're doing, you're inevitably hating your brother out of it. Oh, your brother must be lowered and you must be higher, as it were. Like you must rise higher and he must fall lower. He must fall and I must rise, kind of thing. Like, you have to take him down. And that's one of the great detriments of competition, is it creates this mentality that you have to outdo your brother. But I can tell you that you will not have a shred of peace of mind in that process. And even if you accomplish that task for which you set out for, and so much of it is, you're robbed of much of the joy. Because when you really look at it, nobody cares about what you do as much as you may think they do. At the end of the day, they may, they may look at it and say, "Oh wow, that's cool." From time to time, maybe they'll even remember it if it was really amazing. But at the end of the day, what you do, in a sense, is for yourself, not in a selfish manner, but you're gonna have to be the one who lives with whatever it is that you do. Because people, they go about their own lives, they got their own things going on. So, in a lot of ways, you have to be able to figure out a purpose that isn't so much about trying to please everybody, but it's also not about trying to be vindictive or mean to everyone either, or hateful by it. So there is no point in doing what you're doing if through it turns the body into an end, and also using the body then as a means for which to be able, for it not to be that of communication. Because see, for the body should be solely used for the purposes of communication. And by communication, it's not just being able to talk on the phone with someone. Because, like, for instance, if you're arguing with somebody, are you really communicating? No one's listening, so you're just speaking. Just because you're speaking doesn't automatically denote that there is communication. Because attacking separates. I mean, can you honestly think of a time where by being attacking, hateful and vindictive, lashing out at somebody, has that ever really been beneficial or turned into a positive by that action itself? Maybe forgiveness has come from it and then healing has come about because of that. But the attacking itself, that in and of itself doesn't seem to ever heal. I know I haven't. Time and time again, I'll go back and think in my mind about times where I've acted in a way that wasn't loving, or I was regarding the body as a means of attack. And, it's those moments where I'm like, in hindsight, I tell you, hindsight's 2020 with this guy, where I'm like, man, I wish I would have not done that. Or I wonder what would have happened had I not lashed out, or had I just let the relationship die. Just let it go, as it were. Not die, that sounds kind of cold, but just to be able to let it have ran its course. Not every relationship has to last forever, hardly. It's not about trying to have it last forever, but enjoying it while it lasts and seeing the benefit of that. So, yeah, that's what I would say. Because when you use the body solely for the means of communication, you're able to see things in a whole better light. Because then you recognize that where we work through the body, do not work in it. It's not about, oh, I have to get this promotion, or I have to get this job, or I have to get this girlfriend or boyfriend, or whatever it may be. It's more about, how does this benefit in the teaching of the Holy Spirit? Like and it's not necessarily in such a direct manner, because is this going to help foster forgiveness? Is this going to help foster love and peace and joy? And to being honest with yourself, because a lot of times when we're biased to our own perception, oh yeah, this is going to be wonderful, but in a spiritual manner. It's not just, oh, if I get with this girl, then we can go partying and that stuff, and it seems fun, but that's very short-lived. And again, you're looking at it to the extent of the body. You're not trying to, the whole point is to try to raise our understanding to a more spiritual base, and the actions of what we do, let them follow accordingly. And so so ask yourself as you go about your day and thinking on the things of your life, about what the point is, and if it's something that's leading to attacking your brother, confounding him for whatever it may be, you may need to take some time and kind of reevaluate how you've been doing things. Is it good for you to keep going in that direction? Maybe you don't try and get the promotion. Maybe you don't try and, get the girl, because it's starting to have you act in a way that isn't as you should. Because it's never worth it. Let me tell you, as tempting and as, tantalizing as it seems to appear, I can guarantee you, at the end of it all, it leads to disappointment, fear, hate, anger, nothing good. Let me tell you. From this, I will tell you. And I speak from experience. I'm sure we all do. But this is just some thought to put into perspective. Kind of went a little long, but hope this has helped. And as always, Godspeed, and we wish you well. Peace.